What's up, party people? I just wanted to do a short little something about the Tatiana Jefferson case. And there's not really too much I'm going to touch on because even though I did find out there's some controversy going on in Fort Worth between the previous chief and the current chief now, where there were some allegations by the previous chief that there was some discrimination going on. But I'm still looking into that. But for the chief that we have now, Chief Kraus, excuse me, he seems to be sincere in wanting to pursue adequate justice. He seems to be transparent. He seems to be, because he said he had every intention. I think the shooting that happened that Friday night or that Saturday night, and he had every intention on firing Dean by Sunday. It just Dean resigned that morning. But he said he's going to prosecute to the fullest extent of the law, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. The only thing about it is I do want to see what's going to be the defense's case. I want to see if he's going to try to, the fear for my life tactic, or because, okay, real quick. It was a welfare check call, just to check to see if somebody was okay. It's nighttime. He's walking to a residence. It's not like he's going to a empty lot or a business or a shop or a jewelry store. He's going to a home. He's going to check out on the welfare of a resident in a home. So it's nighttime. There's cars in the driveway. The door's open. There's lights on inside the house. He walks through the gate around the back and for some reason decides to, I don't know if he already had his gun out. I couldn't see in the video whether he already had his gun out or he just pulled for his gun when he saw movement. But how do you go to a residence like that, like I said, cars in the driveway, lights on, doors open, and not expect nobody to be in the house? You know what I mean? Like that, it never crossed his mind that somebody might be home. You know what I mean? But as soon as he saw movement in the window, he goes to shouting, "Show me your hands, show me your hands," and shoots. It's not a burglary. But y'all seen all that. Y'all already know what happened. I'm just saying. It wasn't a burglary call, man. So why are you, and you get to the house, you don't announce yourself, no sirens, you don't knock on the door. So how does he get there and not expect anybody to be home? To the point where his reaction as soon as he saw movement was show me your hands, and shoot. But like bottom line, he was a coward. He was a coward with a gun. That's pretty much what they do. Because by all, as far as I know, gun training involves identifying a target. Before you put your finger on that trigger, you're supposed to identify the target. And all that just shot out the window for him. So I'm real curious what his defense is going to be, if any, because I really don't see any type of defense he can have. Like, that was just ridiculous. And like, once again, I feel for the Jefferson family. I hate, like when somebody has a family member or a loved one die, it's hard for me to offer condolences just due to the fact that I know at that point in time, they're trying to heal. They're trying to recover. They're trying to learn to live with that loss. And I understand that, they may have one moment of serenity, one moment when, okay, this happened, I can deal with it. But then somebody comes up, oh yeah, I heard what happened, I'm sorry for your loss. And then that just dredges all that back up again. And that one moment of serenity that they might have been able to have is gone because, through, somebody being nice, but they just dredged all those emotions with it up again. And I try to keep that in mind. So that's why, when I offer condolences, but mostly I do it silently, to any of my people who I'm close with. If anybody dies, I do it, but I do it silently. If you need me, I'm here. If you want to talk, I'm here. But I try not to mention it too much. You know what I mean? But of course, condolences go out to the Jefferson family. And yeah, we'll see what happens. And the thing that gets me is some don't want to, the training. Okay, let me talk about the training. Because I had somebody in the even though I mentioned training in the video, I do it through grit teeth because that's all we have right now. Somebody mentioned, training ain't gonna do it. They just want to kill us. Dude, I understand. Trust me, I understand totally. But right now, training and procedures and punishment for not following procedures is all we have. If there is some way that they could do a full investigation into everybody that wants to become a cop, do the full background check, research their family, research their friends, research their whole social network, research their hobbies, to kind of weed out the racists. Okay, that would be good, but we really don't have that right now. All we have is training, procedures, and punishment for not following procedures. If you have a better plan, please put it in the comments, and I will blast it everywhere I can. And I won't take none of the credit. I'll give you all the credit. If you come up with a good idea, let me know in the comments, and I will spread it everywhere I can possibly spread it. But we don't have anything like that right now. Or let's say you have an instance where a cop isn't racist or somebody ain't racist, they become a cop and they develop bias because they're submerged in the criminal element of that race every day. Now, not saying that that's an excuse, because that's your job. You're a law enforcement officer. So if you're around a bunch of law-abiding citizens, what good are you? You're supposed to be out there catching criminals. So of course you gotta be submerged in the criminal element. But there has to be some type of training or at least some type of treatment, psychological treatment, so that don't become a bias, so that you don't think that even though they're submerged in that criminal element, they don't think that whole race is like that. You understand what I'm saying? So what do you do for those police officers that develop that type of bias? There's no way you could catch that coming in on racism. So, you know what I mean? And like I said, don't get me wrong. I know being a cop is a hard job. I have family cops. I have friends that became cops. And I seen what they go through to try to become a cop. And it's some long, rigorous hours. It's some very long, rigorous hours. And I don't knock them for that, but still, like I said, I keep saying training through grit teeth because I know that's not the end all be all, but I don't know what else. I don't have the answer. I don't know what else. I don't know how to make a cop be a better cop. And you have some that keep saying that, well, y'all keep making it about race. It's all about race to y'all. But It is race. Like, because that's what it is. You know what I mean? Like, where have you ever heard an incident where somebody in a privileged community or in a financially successful community or in a gated community was accidentally shot at home by a police officer? When have you ever heard that happen? I'll wait. Never. That's when you never. It's never happened because it don't happen. It only happens in low income neighborhoods or predominantly black neighborhoods. So looks like race to me. But like I said, that's just my opinion. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. That's just my opinion. And something else that the mainstream media never talks about. They never talk about this. For any of y'all that's not familiar with the black community, let me let you in on a little something. Not everybody there carries guns. That's true. Might be hard for you to believe, but it's absolutely true. Not every single person there is armed. You have a select few that carry their guns. Most of them leave them home. Some women might carry them in their purse for protection. But it's a select few that carry guns. Not every black person in that community is armed. So for any cop to go into a low-income community or predominantly black community, like, okay, a cop is trained. They are fully equipped. They have gun, they have taser, they have pepper spray, they have baton, and they're trained to use their equipment. So they have training to use their equipment. So against an unarmed individual, by all observation, the cop has the advantage. Once again, training, gun, taser, pepper spray, baton, handcuffs. So even taking away the gun, you still have everything else. So against an unarmed individual, the cop still has the advantage. But for that cop to stand there and still say that they was in fear of their life against an unarmed individual with all that training and all that equipment, think please. But they get away with it. Why? Because they're scared to death of the black man or black people. Because nowadays, you could be unarmed man or unarmed woman. They're still scared to death. They're still scared to death for their life. Unarmed, with all that training and all that equipment. But realistically, we know. Realistically, we know. Because we see every once in a while, y'all want to try to bring them old days back. Y'all want to try to bring them slavery or civil rights days back. And y'all know damn well, we are not about to let that happen. We will act the hell up before we let that happen. And y'all know it. So if you're that scared of one unarmed black person, what you gonna do when a sea of them is standing there looking at you with every intention on going past you? Like, all I'm saying, man, them days ain't coming back. Let it go. Let it go. Them days are not coming back. It's not going to happen. So can't we just all get along respectfully, equally, with each other? Like, seriously. And it kills me that a lot of, well, I can't really say Republicans or, a lot of, I'll say a lot of privileged say that we can't put everybody on a same financial basis because for some reason it will destroy the economy. If everybody was on the same financial line, it would devastate the economy because they're scared that most people won't put that money back into the economy. So we have to keep this separation between rich and poor. And that's your excuse. And all the time, I'm sitting up there looking and reading about Dubai. Every person over there got $1 million car. Have y'all seen the streets of Dubai? Every single person over there got $1 million car. They seem to be doing pretty fucking good. I don't see their economy collapsing, and every single person over there is rich as fuck. Rich as fuck. But nah, you can't give the masses money, or you can't give the masses a financial break, or you can't give the masses equal pay because you're afraid they won't spend it and put it back into the economy, and it'll end up hurting the economy. Most ridiculous thing I ever heard of in my freaking life. And I'm sorry. To be honest with y'all, I was supposed to do this video yesterday. I started doing it, but I ended up getting busy. So I didn't get a chance to finish it. But I'm kind of distracted because I'm looking at some of the stuff going on with the current president and how it amazes me how the whole time while he's denying something, it's a crime. It's a crime, but he ain't do it. The whole time he's denying it, everybody agrees it's a crime, but he ain't do it. Until he gets on national TV and admits, yeah, I did it. I don't see nothing wrong with it. And why wouldn't I do it again? Now, all of a sudden, since he admitted it, well, it's not a crime. The president could do what he wants. What? The whole time he was denying it, everybody and their mama sitting up there saying it's a crime, but the president ain't do it. It's a witch hunt. The Democrats are just fishing. It's a coup. But then the president gets on national TV, admits he did it, and has no problem doing it again. Then all of a sudden the conversation switches to, well, is it a crime? And even if it is a crime, the president could do whatever he wants. Oh my Lord, have mercy. But I'm sitting here looking at all that going on. Then also, I'm looking at the sentences that they're giving to what they call the Varsity Blues scandal, to all them privileged parents that was bribing and committing that fraud to get their kids in the Ivy League schools. And then you have those two mothers, the one in Connecticut and the other one, I think, in Ohio, who they wanted to give 5 to 10 years. The one in Connecticut, the prosecution wanted to call it larceny because, in his words, she's stealing a position that belongs to another child. So the prosecution wanted to charge the one in Connecticut with larceny. Wow. These privileged mothers who bribed anywhere from $15,000 to $500,000 and frauded, they all get 5 months, 4 months, 3 weeks, 2 weeks. And then they say, oh, well, they was just doing it for the benefit of the child. No, the fuck they wasn't. These moms was doing it for the benefit of the child. The mom in Connecticut was homeless, and she couldn't use the shelter as an address. So she used the babysitter's address. The one in Ohio, She didn't want her child to go to an underprivileged school that they lived in. So she used a family member's address to try to get that child a better education. Now, that was done for their children. These privileged parents over here, that wasn't done for their children. They did that because they wanted the facade of their kids going to an Ivy League school, even though their kids was either didn't apply themselves in school or just didn't care about applying themselves in school and get the grades to be able to go to these Ivy League schools. So they want to cheat and sneak their kids through the side door of the Ivy League school just so they could go around there, all their rich friends saying, well, yeah, my kid goes to this school or my kid goes to this school. So don't sit up there and say, oh, well, I was doing it for the benefit of my child. No, it wasn't. You was doing it for the benefit of you and your self-esteem. It had nothing to do with them kids. Them kids don't care where they go. That was for you. Because you ain't want your friends to know that your kids didn't apply themselves in school and couldn't get themselves into an Ivy League school. So you ain't want that to put some type of blemish on your image. These mothers over here, they was trying to get their kids at least a decent education. Over here, you're just looking for your own self-image. But their crime is, well, at least the one in Ohio, they was trying to give her 2 consecutive 5-year sentences, but then they broke it down to like 2 or 3 weeks? Thank God. But you're arguing for these parents over here that they shouldn't get no time. And you want to argue that the system's fair. Everybody got a fair shot, huh? Work hard, study hard. Everybody gets the same opportunity, huh? Anywho, that's it. Y'all be blessed, be safe.